You should see a new folder.
Warming.
There's nothing inside of it. Where?
Who sees files in there?
Only one.
Alright, we'll give it a second.
There's nothing else.
Click the warming folder.
There's warming and impact.
Do you see inside the warming folder 2 files?
Yeah, keep up.
You can now impact turn both sides of warming.
Cool.
Alright, there's definitely one more thing that we need to go over right now. Alright. Gemini. What does that mean, and have you covered it? Raise your hand if you know what it is. Hegemony. What is it, Ivan? Leadership. What types of leadership, Ivan? What? Alright, space leadership. What else? How many types of hegemony are there? 3 or 4? What do you think these are? How can you have leadership?
Oh, there. Science, technology.
Okay, what do those do? What do they increase? What did it solve for? What did the STEM Advantage Counter Plan solve for? And jobs are key to what? Economic hegemony. What does this mean? Hey, can you all be quiet? Economic hegemony. What does that mean? Is the U.S. an economic hegemon, George? Not really, or absolutely not?
Absolutely not.
Actually, it's not really. Why?
Does China have the better?
Why would the U.S. be somewhat of an economic hegemon? What does the U.S. do? Import, export. So we determine where lots of the goods go, right? All right. What other types of hegemony are there? If economic is one, how do you lead the world? How does the United States lead the world?
Military.
Yes. Third kind, the United States has none of this.
Cultural.
Good.
This question made it obvious.
Alright, 3 types of hegemony: economic, cultural, military. Theo, which one of these is more important? Why? Ooh, your economy's good. Boom! Squash.
Military.
Is it?
Yes. Culture.
How about P? if people backlash against the military?
Culture. But if you have a good military.
Culture? Alright, ready? I'm gonna influence Jimmy right now. Alrighty? We have red markers in the United States.
I like that.
Red, you learn about the red marker. Alright, ready? Does that cause you to want to do anything? Alright, how about this? Get out! Alright, he's going to get out, because if he doesn't, I'm going to choke him out. Alright. Lots of people in the United States, in 50% of the teams, will read a hegemony advantage. None of them will be cultural hegemony. They will be two things. They will either be soft power and hard power. Who created soft power? The concept of it. Does anyone know? Famous hegemony author, 1990. Dean of the John F. Kennedy School of Government.
Allison?
No.
Allison.
Not the old one.
No.
Chomsky.
How about Joseph Nye?
Joseph
Soft power. Ready? Ready? Alright, stand up. Hey, let's go take a walk, you know. Very nice to you. We'll take a walk, and then I'm like, alright, kill George.
Okay.
Right? That is soft power because I convinced him to do it by making friends with him, by increasing hands. Right? Hard power. Go hurt George. Go hurt George. Go hurt him. Hurt him. Hurt him. Hard power. I convinced him to do something by forcing him with the military to do it. Since economic leadership in the United States is pretty low, most people are going to talk about hard power. Especially people that create, like, space weapons, right? It's like, oh, space weapons increase your cultural hegemony. No. What do you think they do? Yeah, they allow us to first strike the crap out of people. Alright, what types of military hegemony are there? Or what does military hegemony normally do?
Force people to do stuff that they don't. Use that leverage.
Military hegemony does one thing basically. Does anyone know what this is? Yeah, my shoes match. What do you think the military mainly does? Do you think the military is just like, oh, let's fight a war, let's fight a war, let's fight a war? No, Bush isn't always the president, you know? We don't always fight wars. You know, we only elected that dude for 8 years. What happens? What does the military do? Do you think the military prevents wars from happening? George, you're gonna hit Theo. Alright?
Like George thinking about that.
If you hit Theo though, I'm gonna hit you with a baseball bat. Alright, are you gonna hit her? What did me having the threat to hit George with a baseball bat do? It protected Theo because it deterred George. Have you heard of deterrence? You should. You should. So what does this do, George? How does the military do this? Alan, how does the military do this? Since you're not paying attention. Jimmy, how does the military do this? Right? Part of it is forward deployment. What is this?
Deploy troops at their country.
Right? Deploying people forwardly, not in the United States, to try to protect them. Does the United States forwardly deploy? It mainly forwardly deploys in Asia. In what two countries?
Taiwan.
It does not forwardly deploy in Taiwan anymore. Japan.
Korea.
Japan, we have how many troops in Japan?
5,000.
I don't know, a lot. How many do we have in South Korea?
A lot.
47,000.
Cool. Of what?
What specifically does Japan have that no other country in the world has that is forwardly deployed to Japan? Sushi.
Earthquake protection.
What? They have protection. They have protection of something that is better than any other countries in the world. And the United States has more of these than everyone in the world combined. And no, Russia has more of these than the United States. What do they have? The United States has 12 of these. And it's one of the reasons no one really messes with us. No. Aircraft carriers. How many other countries have aircraft carriers in the world? China has one that the Russians sold them that is atrocious.
It's not working yet either.
It's being built. It's terrible. Like, terrible.
Russia.
Russia no longer has any in commission. Two other countries have them. This is leaking all over the meat. Two other countries. England. Do you think we're afraid of England's aircraft carrier?
No.
No, why?
Or France.
Because we gave them the technology to build it. How about, what do you think the other one is?
Brazil.
France. Guess what we did? We gave France the technology to build theirs. So do you think we're afraid of them?
No.
What does an aircraft carrier do?
Carry stuff.
It carries aircraft, so then they can change off when you're at.
Alright, why is that important for the United States? What would have happened if the U.S. didn't deploy aircraft carriers to the Persian Gulf in support of Iraq and Afghanistan?
Then people would die. Some people have already died.
It's a force multiplier. Write that down. What does that mean?
Force.
What it means is that for each plane, that's the equivalent to like 100 troops. Why? Has anyone ever seen when one of those planes drops or shoots bombs? Can they kill lots of people?
Yeah.
Alright, you think one of them could kill 100 people?
Yeah.
What about 1,000?
Maybe.
Alright, so that's a force multiplier, right? One thing kills lots of other things. Yes? And you can move them via the sea. Hey. You can move them anywhere in the world. Because the Earth is 70% ocean. What is the other main thing that deters people that the U.S. is probably the best at in the world. Yeah. We might not have the most in the world, but we certainly have the best capabilities for that. No, there are no nuclear weapons in space.
Cruise missile.
3 types of nuclear deterrence. First one, what do you think? The least important one. We just talked about this. Airplanes, bombers, what's the matter with those? Everyone has them. How long does it take for one of those planes to fly out or around the world? Yeah, it takes a long time. I can tell you that. 29 hours, Baltimore to Taipei. Right? So they are what we refer to as a second strike ability. You wouldn't get attacked by those first. Second kind, rockets. In the United States, we call these ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right. I'm not touching on marker for 5 minutes. United States has these in California, Idaho, and Montana. They can go anywhere in the world in like an hour or 2. ICBMs, big rockets. How big do you think one of those is? How big? Think they're like the size of George? You actually used the best analogy right now. They're as big as a school bus.
Is what as big as school bus?
Alright.
A missile.
Pretty self-explanatory. Now you have, in my opinion, what the most important thing that the United States has ever built. No.
Donuts.
Starts with the same letter.
What
What
letter?
did you say about
S. S into the S. Security. Submarines.
Yes. Submarines. Why are submarines important?
Because they can be
Water.
Yeah, you don't know where they are. You know where the bombers are, you can see it on the satellite. You know where the missile silos are, you can see it on the satellite. Why don't people attack anyone that the United States is friends with?
the United States base coming over.
Yeah, no one knows where the submarines are. And the submarines each carries like 140 nuclear weapons. And we deploy like 22 of them. And I would bet that more than a few are in Asia right now. Important. Why? Why? Why are these important? Yeah.
America would attack other places.
Sure. This is probably important to Taiwan. Does anyone know what the nuclear umbrella is? What? The nuclear umbrella. Taiwan is under this.
Range.
Also, like, whoever first.
Taiwan is under this, and you should be happy that they are.
Oh, protected from nuclear.
What?
Protected from nuclear.
The U.S. protects Taiwan. Do you agree? We also protect Israel. We also protect lots of other countries. What is it? But South Korea is under the nuclear umbrella. Right? The United States in 2009 changed a policy that we have to do something called NFU. What does that mean?
NFU.
Yes. Google it.
Oh, there.
first use. The United States will not be the first to use a nuclear weapon. Hey, important. The United States will not be the first country to use a nuclear weapon. But what does that mean if a country like Taiwan is under the nuclear umbrella? They're under the US's protection. They detect something.
Yeah.
It's not no first use anymore. It's use. And that's why places like where you live are happy with the United States. Very happy, actually. Alright. So for the Space Weapons Act, why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this work? Why do people, like a man that I've met who works at the Air and Space College named Everett Dolman, why does he say we need space weapons?
So that more leverage over the
There are going to be about 25% of the acts on the topic that will say that we need some sort of weapon because of this.
Having time.
China model.
Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of affirmatives on the topic are going to argue that China modernization is bad. The ORS Act that you have on the wiki argues that. Yeah, okay, good, George.
China model.
So do you see why it's important that the United States has military hegemony? Alright. So even if you don't like the United States, you better not do something to make them mad. Right? Like 9/11. I was on the 91st floor of the World Trade Center less than 20 days before it was attacked.
Ooh, very close.
Better not do anything. Because what do you get? How many Afghanis has the United States killed? Hundreds. Probably like tens of hundreds of thousands. Is all hegemony good? What type of hegemony that the United States have might be bad? What's the most controversial thing we've created in the last 5 years, without a doubt? Not nuclear weapons. I think we've sold these to Taiwan.
No, Taiwan doesn't have.
They don't have any?
Because when you said that, no, definitely not.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely not.
Does anyone know what a drone is?
Oh, unmanned drone.
It's like
Spy. Like spy plane.
Yeah. We are accidentally killing Afghani civilians like it's our job. It's an unmanned aerial vehicle, or a UAV, also known as a drone. Some people think they're good. Hey, Charlene, what if we could use SBSP to power our drones? Wouldn't that be sweet? They could stay up forever and kill lots of civilians. What if they could kill people like OBL? Osama bin Laden.
Who the people are.
They thought about drone striking Osama bin Laden. Yeah, they didn't because they wanted proof.
Didn't Iran like one of the drones? Didn't Iran attack one of the drones?
Yes, Iran did capture a drone. They said they have, the U.S. said that it's useless to them.
So joins are.
Good deal. So they still have it?
Yeah, they dissected it. Whoa!
Bless you.
Thank you.
Alright, we'll take a minute break.
Wait, they dissect the controls, so does that mean? Yeah, what did they have, does that mean they can't manufacture?
They can't create the technology. They know what it is, they don't know what machines are capable of making it. Does that make sense?
Hey, Byron, guess what?
That really sucks. Thanks.